After her breakup with a Midwest 2 Brian, with whom she was in a high-profile relationship for 10 years, 40-year-old Jenna Jones, who's famous in the fashion world, retreats to her parents' house. After a year-long hiatus as a miserable recluse, Jenna's mom, Monica, urges her to return to her friends, job, and the city she loves because part of healing is getting back to living. Not me being a recluse all my life. Jenna returns to New York. Damn, Gabrielle Union still foine. After she settles into her new Brooklyn apartment, she meets with Darcy, her rival and founder of fashion magazine Darzine, for a job. Bitter that Jenna has gotten every job and man she ever wanted, Darcy tells Jenna that all her rejections were blessings in disguise because now she owns her own company. No one wanted Darcy's vintage pussy. When Darcy brags about how successful Darzine is becoming, Jenna points out that Darzine's subscription model failed to launch. She tells Darcy that they can both benefit from working together since she needs a job and Darcy needs her because a strictly advertising model is unsustainable. After making Jenna literally beg to work for her, Darcy offers her a position and gives her 90 days to make meaningful change. At home, Jenna assures her friends Billy and Elodie, who are still in disbelief that she's working for Darcy, that it's a strategic move. At a party, some random hoe reminds Jenna that her breakup was the biggest L she'd ever seen. Then a 20-something young fetus named Eric approaches Jenna, and they're immediately smitten with each other. Eric tells her that he has a master's in film from USC, prompting her to share that she wanted to be a film historian, but Monica said that wasn't a real job. They start making out, telling each other, "I love you" in between. When she slips, she realizes that she shouldn't be making out in public and abruptly leaves without even telling Eric her name. At Darzine the next day, Darcy brings Eric to Jenna's office, and both Eric and the hungover Jenna are stunned to see each other. To Jenna's horror, Darcy says Eric is her son and their new videographer who is going to help her create content for their subscriptions relaunch. This finna get messy. After Darcy leaves, Eric, who finds the coincidence funny, asks her if she's still in love with him, to which Jenna tells him that she barely remembers what happened between them the night before. Entertained by her panic, Eric asks her to calm down, assuring her that he won't tell Darcy about them, but admits that he's happy to see her again. Jenna, not wanting to jeopardize her career, begs him to stop, which entertains him even more. Eric says Jenna would fit in a Tyler Perry movie, then calls her ma'am and laughs as he leaves. Oh, this boy finna get slapped. Although Jenna and Eric try to get along, they can't help but say a couple of snide remarks towards each other. Jenna interviews designer Greta Blumen, but fails because the designer is mourning her dead peacock. Eric asks Jenna, who never consulted him, to trust him and collaborate with him, assuring her that he's competent, and she agrees. When Eric receives a text from his recent ex, 22-year-old ballerina Madison, Jenna rambles on about feeling bad about causing their breakup. Annoyed, Eric clarifies that nothing happened between them and that he was already single that night. They argue further when she makes bitter comments about his relationship with Madison, prompting Eric to leave her. While checking out pop-up stores with Billy and Elodie on the weekend, Jenna shares that Eric drives her snatch crazy and that she feels rusty at work, prompting Billy to tell her that everybody gets imposter syndrome and she'll eventually overcome hers. After Jenna meets a designer named Becca, whose collection she loves, Billy sets her up with a 50-year-old wine shop owner, Jimmy, and possibly a good kitty eater. On Monday, Jenna receives a gift basket from Brian, who has written on the card that he'd love to catch up. When Eric shows up, Jenna apologizes for upsetting him. They agree not to talk about their personal lives at work, and they call a truce. Eric admits Googling her after their fight, so, aside from learning that she is a big deal in the industry, he has also learned that she went through a horrible breakup, got fired from her job, and has been enduring the painful and vicious memes about her. When he sees the Nina Mae McKinney poster in her office, they bond over their love for old Hollywood movies. Shortly after, Jenna invites him and his friends to a dinner party she'll be hosting to meet Jimmy. During the dinner party, Eric watches the nervous Jenna and Jimmy talk from afar. When she finds him a little too weird, she looks over to Eric, who immediately comes over to join them. Later, Jimmy brings up the topic of marriage and gets upset when he assumes that Jenna is judging him for being single at 50. There's no way Jimmy is 50 because my 35-year-old white self be looking older than him. Eric intervenes and Jimmy antagonizes Eric, but the tension breaks when Eric's friend Tim experiences a severe allergic reaction from unknowingly consuming fish oil that is in the salad dressing. Fortunately, Billy has her young daughter May May's EpiPen, which she administers to Tim. After the others leave, Eric helps Jenna clean up. When Eric asks her what she wants, she says that she wants to love so intensely that it makes people uncomfortable to be around them. They then make out. As Jenna stares at Nina's poster at work the next day, she gets inspired by the nostalgic feeling she gets when she watches an old film and sees a garment that makes her say, "They don't make things like that anymore." She shares this concept with Eric and tells him about Becca, who makes the most fabulously constructed reclaimed vintage pieces with her couture-level craftsmanship. After Eric approves of this idea, they decide on the hook, the influencer, and the viral goal, and then they start filming. At home, Jenna ignores Brian's voicemail, asking her to meet him for coffee. Shortly after, Eric invites her to walk together on the Brooklyn Bridge with a bottle of champagne to celebrate their campaign. After Eric and Jenna put hot dogs and buns back at her apartment, Eric tells Jenna about his dad Otis, who was killed when he was 2 years old because he was mixed up in some mess, and that he caught Darcy, who isn't an open book about it, crying only once. He adds that he's trying to figure things out himself because he doesn't want to upset her, and that he's thinking about doing a film about Otis's life to celebrate who he was. When Eric asks about her and Brian, Jenna says they were college overachievers who became a power couple. After 10 years, she realized that he had been stringing her along and that she wanted a family. She then tells Eric that she wants to keep their relationship a secret, to which he agrees. Suki, the supermodel Jenna had discovered and Eric's high school classmate, catches Jenna and Eric having a drive-in theater date and ships them. But the pair denies it, saying they're just doing research for Darzine. After she leaves, the pair gets nervous about the word getting out. After Jenna learns about Brian hinting that he misses her in his Forbes magazine feature, Darcy informs her that the New York Times wants to profile Darcy as a publishing mastermind and a media mogul and wants details on their campaign. Perfect find. Sensing that Eric has a small crush on her, Darcy warns her not to turn it into something more than that, despite Jenna trying to change the topic. The next day, a New York Times journalist comes for their photo shoot and secretly takes a photo of Eric and Jenna after noticing their closeness. After the perfect find goes live, Darzine surpasses 1 million subscriptions, which pleases Darcy. The New York Times Darzine cover story comes out, and the article is more on Jenna and Eric being Darzine's dynamic duo. While Eric is happy that they're featured in the New York Times, Jenna is anxious because they look suspiciously happy in the photo. Eric wants to go public about their relationship, but Jenna has apprehensions as she knows it'll be a blow to her career and her reputation. He tells her he loves her, which she reciprocates. At Mei Mei's birthday party, Jenna gets jealous seeing Eric and Madison, who is Mei Mei's ballet teacher, catching up. Jenna introduces herself to Madison, and Eric tells Madison that they work together. After Madison leaves, Jenna argues with Eric for not introducing her as his girlfriend, to which he reminds her that she wants to keep the relationship a secret. To end her jealousy, he tells her to kiss him publicly, but Jenna tells him it's not fair. Feeling like he can do nothing right, an upset Eric leaves and ignores Jenna's calls. When Jenna arrives home, she finds Brian waiting for her. He tells her that his mom died the night before, prompting her to hug him, offer her condolences, and offer to drive him home, which Eric, who's on his way to her apartment, sees. Brian asks her to stay with him for the night, but Jenna declines. Yeah, that man of five on a good day. Eric Foyne, you better grab your new mans. He reveals that Darcy gave him her address, mentions that he saw their New York Times article, and criticizes her relationship with Eric, which Jenna takes as her cue to leave. When Eric works from home the next day, Jenna sneaks into Darcy's penthouse and apologizes to Eric, who then reveals that he came to see her and saw her and Brian together. They make up and play Ring around the Rosie on the bed. Darcy catches them in the act and confronts Jenna for still getting together with Eric after she had asked her to stay away from him. A shocked Eric gets upset with Jenna for not telling him, but Darcy tells him to stay out of it. Darcy laughs in disbelief when Jenna says they're in love while Eric stays quiet. When Darcy fires Jenna, Eric asks her not to and tells her that he is quitting, which an angry Darcy refuses to accept. When Darcy tells him not to waste her sacrifices for him, he yells that she didn't do anything for him. As Jenna leaves in tears, she hears Darcy reprimanding Eric. Around Christmas, Eric leaves Darzine, moves into his own Harlem apartment, and works on his own documentary film, Finding Otis, thanks to a grant. After New Year's, Jenna reaches out to Eric to reconnect. They meet at a cafe, where Eric shares with her what he's up to lately. When he says that he heard she's teaching, she shares that she landed a fashion and film professor job at Columbia, which she thinks is her calling. Jenna shows him the sonogram of their baby, and Eric's shocked and confused reaction causes them to fight. Feeling like Jenna has made her decision and is trying to control his response, an upset Eric leaves. Although Jenna hasn't heard from Eric since, Darcy, who's heard of her pregnancy, visits her. When Darcy asks if she influenced Eric to do his documentary, Jenna informs her that it's something he has always wanted to do. Darcy reveals that her parents hated Eric's dad, but she loved him and she wanted Eric. After he was killed, she raised Eric on her own. Refusing to abandon Jenna like how her parents abandoned her, Darcy tells Jenna that they're now a family. Eric shows up at Jenna's doctor's appointment, and while they wait for their turn, he tells her that she still means the world to him. The doctor informs them that they're having a healthy baby boy. After the doctor leaves, Jenna suggests that they name the baby Otis. Eric promises to be present in their son's life, so he will not grow up fatherless like him. Soon, Eric and a visibly pregnant Jenna attend the 8th annual Darzine Gala together. During an interview, they share a kiss, prompting everyone to cheer for them and the photographers to click away. This was such a cute movie. I loved it, but I also feel like Thanksgiving dinner finna be a mess with the mother-in-law. What did you guys think?
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.